Welcome back to another Monday night call-in show here on the OHIO podcast. I am your host, Buckeye Boggs, a.k.a. the Podfather, and you are you, and we're thankful you decided to join us this evening. Tonight's show is brought to you by A Place at Home Senior Care. Hey, listen, guys, if you have a loved one who's aging, a family member, a spouse, somebody who needs a little assistance, and they live in or around the Columbus area, around Dublin, A Place at Home is the company you need to choose. At placeathome.com/Dublin. They will answer any question you have. 740-472-8181 is the phone number. You can call them to get the assistance and help that you need. By Buckeyes, my man. By Buckeyes. Also, MyBookie. That's right, folks. MyBookie has a promo code out there, OHIO. They've been the best betting service I've ever worked with. In the 3 years we've been able to do that here in the state of Ohio. I've worked with several. They will go unnamed, including one who promised everything. We ran the ads and they never paid me a dime. Looking at you, DraftKings. MyBookie's not like that, man. They have paid, they have been appreciative of us. So MyBookie, if you're gonna make a wager, if you're gonna make a bet, do us a big favor. Go over to MyBookie, lay it down there, and put in the promo code OHIO to get a little insurance on your bet. Good to see you as well, Andre. Good to have you with us tonight. Tyler's in the house with us this evening. Tyler. Jason Maynard, good to have you with us this evening. Jason, Sean Schrock, the Schrock Star, welcome in. Let's see. We also have my lovely, beautiful bride. She's with us this evening, managing the chat along with Tyler and Sean. Good to have her with us this evening. Happy birthday. Shout out to my stepson, Xander, turned 15 today, 1 year away from taking the keys and driving old stepdad's truck around Delaware. So we'll see how that goes. See if we can get that truck to him in a year. Anyways, everybody, welcome in. Welcome back. Good to have all of you with us this evening. The phone lines are open, 567-483-1999. Again, 567-483-1999. Let's talk about it this evening. Ohio State beats Ohio University 37-9. No, the score doesn't look impressive, but there was a lot of impressive things to talk about. There was some unimpressive things that we can talk about. But it could be worse, right? We could be Notre Dame. We could be Virginia Tech right now. We could be the Florida Gators, right? We could be any of those teams right now. We are not those teams. We are the number one ranked Ohio State Buckeyes, and we have a win against Texas on our resume already, and we get 2 weeks to prepare for our trip out to Seattle, Washington to take on the undefeated Washington Huskies. Yeah, if Chris was watching, he just cringed because I said Washington. All right, guys, the phone lines, my gosh, they are lit up already. This first caller's in here twice. That's interesting. Let's not waste any more time. Let's go right to the phone lines. Let's take it out there. This looks like it's Vader this evening. What's going on, Vader? Let's go right to the phone lines. Uh-oh.
Hi, Podfather. It's Vader. How are you doing tonight?
What's going on, Vader?
I got a quick story. When I was teenager, when I was grounded, I would play the Pittsburgh Steelers polka over and over and over. My dad, being a lifelong Browns fan, this drove him crazy, so it didn't take long for him to give up and say, "I don't care, just go somewhere." LOL. Also, a shout out to my favorite recruit in the 2026 class, Kari Wilder, on becoming a 5-star. LOL.
Do me a favor, Vader. Turn down your volume on your computer or whatever you're watching the program on. We're getting a pretty bad feedback. Do me a favor, Vader. Turn down your volume on your computer or whatever you're watching the program on. We're getting a pretty bad feedback. There we go. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. That's a pretty good one. Why don't you replay what you said again, because it was really hard to hear you, Vader, because of that echo. Play it again, bud. Oh, did we lose him? Are you still with us, Vader?
Hi Podfather, it's Vader. How are you doing tonight? I got a quick story. When I was teenager when I would grounded I would play the Pittsburgh Steelers polka over and over and over. My dad being a lifelong Browns fan this drove him crazy so it didn't take long for him to give up and say I don't care just go somewhere. LOL. Also a shout out to my favorite recruit in the 2026 class Kari Wilder on becoming a 5-star.
Yes, that's a funny story, by the way. And the Pittsburgh polka came up in last night's roundtable discussion with Mike Wargo, who is a Pittsburgh native here. So that's why that came up tonight. That's a funny story. And with your dad being a Browns fan, that's funny. Yeah, Kerry Wilder, 5-star, got his 5th star today. He's going to be an absolute beast. You called that, Vader. Good job, my man, on calling that, buddy. So this was an interesting weekend to say the least, man, for Ohio State in their game against Ohio University. That being said, what do you have for me? I know you mentioned earlier you got a couple good things, and uh, let's talk about the unrealistic fans first. How about that? The unrealistic fans. You got a take on Ohio State's unrealistic fans. Let's hear it.
I want to talk about the insanity that went on during the game and your show. What exactly do people want? This is real life, not a video game on easy. Sayan had a better game than probably of college football quarterbacks. Ask Clemson, Texas, and even several teams in the Big Ten such as Ton and Penn State. Ask them if they would love to have Sayan, they would all say yes. I know he didn't have a perfect game, he absolutely has things to work on, but please tell me a redshirt freshman in college football history that didn't have something to work on. This entire recruiting cycle we have been freaking out that we missed on several top recruits. Do people think having a meltdown every time a player makes a mistake help us get top recruits? Do you believe screaming for coaches' job help to get and retain top-line coaches? Nobody holds the Buckeyes to a higher standard than I do, but we must be realistic.
100% Vader. And yeah, the crazy fan who was in the chat during the live watch who was literally saying some of the dumbest stuff about benching Julian Sain and then firing Ryan Day. He's one of two things. And I said this on our good, the bad, and the ugly video on Sunday. He was either drunk or he's just stupid. It's one of the two. Uh, and he might be stupid and drunk. That might have been the worst case scenario. But good call, dude. It doesn't help the program out. It doesn't help us get recruits. It doesn't help us retain top coaching talent. You're 100% correct about that. Positivity is something that we need to have as a fan base. All right, you said you got two things on what you liked and didn't like about the game. Let's have it.
This week's game had a lot more good than bad, so let's talk about the good first. I was extremely happy with the run defense. Ohio's entire offense is built around the running game, so to hold them to under 30 yards rushing until the final drive when we had third and fourth string when both teams were just running out the clock. Our pass defense was amazing with the exception of one play which I will address in the bad. Our pass rush was more aggressive than I expected but still maintained their containment. On offense, and deep passing is going to be something special and will open up a whole new aspect of our offense. We definitely have found our running back. This too will take the offense to another level this season. Our receivers are almost unstoppable. It's basically pick your poison at this point. Finally, the offense line couldn't be more solid at 4 of the 5 positions. Don't be surprised if the left side wins multiple postseason awards.
Yeah, right guard is an issue right now. But other than that, you're right. The offensive line is definitely solid. Bo Jackson is definitely RB1. I think he solidified that, which is exactly what I wanted to see. So you're 100% correct about that. And even some of the negative things that we saw, I can turn those into a positive because now they're on film and we know what they are and we can work on them. What do you have about some of the things you didn't like?
Now let's talk about what we need to work on going into the Big Ten season. The most important thing in my opinion is red zone offense. I think part of the problem hardline play calling close to the end zone is very predictable. I would spread it out and get creative much like he does outside of the red zone. Also at some point let's say and do a RPO, read option or a bootleg. There are ways to do it without putting him at risk. I continue to be frustrated with the great inconsistent play. I would like to see Ethan. I'm not even going to try to spell his last name to get more of a look at right guard. I would also like to see Graham and Rogers get a little more playing time. It's the long season. I'm just as comfortable with them as Innes. Let's use our amazing depth to our advantage. Just to be clear so I don't get 50 texts from Mecca, I'm not saying bench Innes. I just think Graham and Rogers provide a change of pace at that position. Now the defense. There isn't much. I would work a little with Styles Jr. Sometimes he's over-aggressive and has bad tackling technique. I would also like to see Downs and West get some playing time at nickel. I also wanted to see us continue using deep rotations. We're too deep across the entire defense. Let's keep everyone as fresh and healthy as possible. Most importantly, keep installing Matty P. Pro style defense. By the end of the season, nobody will know what's coming.
Well said, Vader. Yeah, I agree. I put my stamp of approval on every one of those things. I have some ideas about the red zone offense as well that I'm going to address in a future video with Alex that we're going to shoot tomorrow evening together. That'll either post on Wednesday. I think that'll post Wednesday evening, if I'm not mistaken. So be on the lookout for that. And inside of that, you brought up some very good things. Ethan Onue, the right guard that replaced Tegra Shabola, who started out at left tackle in the fall. I think we need to give him more time at right guard. I think it's time to do that. So we'll see if that's an option. But other than that, I agree with everything you said there, Vader, man. All right, buddy, I appreciate it. Is there anything else? If not, give me an OH or I'll OH and you can IO, brother.
That's all I got, Podfather. Thanks for having me on. Everyone, don't forget to watch the Buckeye Force Report, the Buckeye Lounge on Tuesdays, the Buckeye Ladies on Thursdays, the live call-in show on Monday, the live call-in and pre-game show on Saturday at 10, the live game watch party during the game. All the videos that get dropped throughout the week, including the in-depth game preview every Wednesday. As you can see, there is something for everyone. So get a membership. You won't believe all you get for $4. Trust me, you won't regret it. Or do a super chat. OH.
IO. That was Buck Vader, everybody. Thank you much, my man. He is the best. No doubt about it. Appreciate you calling in, my friend. Thank you for taking the time to type all of those out and voice your opinion this evening. Thank you so much for that. All right, we're going to keep her moving this evening, guys. Let's go to him, man. I'm very intrigued to see how this gentleman will react to the game after his call-in Saturday morning. Dan, Caden Diesel Freak, how are you this evening?
You said my name and I appear. How are you doing this evening, Podfather?
I am tired. I'm not gonna lie. I'm running out of gas, man. So, you have been on a soapbox about college football not being the hard-hitting game that it once was. I got to ask you a question, Caden. What did you think of Jalen McLean's absolute massive hit Saturday night?
Against Ohio, you know what? Honestly, that was just sending a message. Ohio State defense was sending a message saying we're not here to play around. We're here to A, destroy you, and B, we don't care who you are or where you come from, you run your mouth about our team, you know, it's not going to be good on your end. And that's just my 2 cent, Podfather. But you know what? That's just my 2 cents. And in the words of a great Hall of Famer in Ray Lewis, you better be ready for some football tonight, as he said against the Indianapolis Colts in Week 6 of 2007. I listened to that quote. But you know what? 37-9 is fine. You know what? We got the job done. You know what? I'm not going to say it was an impressive win. I'm just going to say we got the job done.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair. There were some things that didn't go our way that we need to work on, but let's not kid nobody. The Bobcats are a pretty good football team. They're in the upper echelon of college football. It's not like we were playing
Mm-hmm.
Central Michigan, who's like 130 out of 136 Division One football schools.
You know what? Ohio's a decent team. Let's not say fairly good. I mean decent. Ohio's a decent team. They got a lucky win over West Virginia. But when they came up here, all confident, celebrating their win over West Virginia, they got knocked on down back to planet Earth. And I think that's the kind of thing that we needed to get up and get going on defense. Was just to remind our schedule. This is a team who's not playing around this season. This team's here to win more winning games and take us to another national championship. And you know what? Jaden McLean's hit was just a reminder to anybody on our schedule. You know, we're coming to get you. You know, that's just the bottom line.
Yeah, I think that there's an attitude on this defense that obviously would have your stamp of approval, Caden. There's an attitude on this defense. What was your thoughts about our trouble in the red zone Saturday night?
I think Coach Hartline and especially the offensive, coaching staff needs to address it, especially from someone. I watched that game and I said, you know what, they need to address it. And unfortunately, I've got a Michigan fan bugging me, but he's going to have to wait for a few minutes. That Scum fan, he's not worth my minute of mine. But Coach Hartline needs to address the red zone. You know, especially if we're going to be in those red zone situations, and even outside the red zone, we've got to address those situations, especially. But other than that, I feel like if our defense just keeps winning our game and keeps opening up a can of you know what on everybody in the first 3 quarters, I mean, it's just going to be smooth sailing from here. And the Scum team in Penn State and Washington, well, let's just be honest, they're not going to know what's going to hit them. And especially that Scum team. That Scum team is going to get what they deserve. Big time. 4 years of anger, 4 years of pain. Well, guess what? Them boys are about to get it this time around. Number 5 is not going to be lucky for them. Number 5 is going to be the hugest L they take. And that's 5 years worth of anger from the boys down there that wear the scarlet and gray. But you know what? Here's the other thing, too, Eric. I don't know if you're aware of this. But I made a little wager with a friend of John Kennedy's, Will and Gee. And you know what? I made a little wager that Notre Dame wasn't going to the playoffs this year and that they were going to get eliminated. Well, I'm about to almost win that bet because if Notre Dame loses one more game, I win $500. And that specific Notre Dame fan will give me $500 for winning that bet. So, you know what? I'm pretty happy. And I just left John Kennedy a little voicemail message from yours truly. And if you could deliver a message to John Kennedy from me, and that's the voice that I sent to him, tell him to tell Marcus Freeman and those Notre Dame boys that wear the little stupid navy, gold, and green uniforms. Tell them until they can run with the big dogs, until they can hang with the big dogs, they can sit at the puppy table because they are nothing but a bunch of little puppies dressed in gold, navy, and green uniforms that are running around acting like children. Please, this is not a league for little children. This is where the big dogs of college football roam. Excuse me. Did I, and fact check me, Eric. Is Ohio State one of the big dog teams in college football? Let me ask you that. Is Ohio State one of the big dog teams in college football?
Yes, no doubt about it.
And you know what? Here's the funny thing. Until those boys, including that scum that wear the crimson and white, and that scum that wears that stupid navy and blue uniform, who basically smell like dog. You can tell them boys from me, and well, I can get my sister from another mother. TJ's on it. TG's on here. Already fired up. Sister Lou, let me take care of those scum fan bases for you. So you boys want to come on here, run your mouth all day, and you want to claim that you guys are the baddest, you're the biggest, you're the roughest, you're the toughest. Well, look, hell, you can hang with the big dogs, you can run with the big dogs, you feast with the big dogs, and you can be in the weight room with the big dogs. I don't want to hear any of your fan bases on this channel, and hell, even on any other platform, talking that when I'm around. Because here's the difference between Ohio State and you pieces of trash. You pieces of trash are nothing but a bunch of puppies who can't even stay away from the porch and the mamas and your mamas. And here's the difference between us including Ohio State, Georgia, Miami. You have my brothers from another mother from the 305 and Iowa State. We're the big dogs of college football. So until you can actually grow a set, shut up, and you can hang with the big dogs, I don't want to hear it from any of you dumb sons of up in this place. Jesus Christ, do I got to be reminding everybody up in here, Eric? For the love of God, for the love of God, do I got to remind everybody on this platform that this is the show for the big dogs. This is not for the puppies to come on here barking their little. This is where the big dogs roam. Excuse me, Jesus Christ, Jesus H Christ. I'm
Big
sweating
dog.
already.
Big dog table.
Jesus Christ, I'm sweating already.
Don't
just say there's two
don't need to sweat, man. Take a breath. Take a breath.
I'm gonna have to do this for you, honey. So sit on down and let your brother handle this. But let me just warn the following fan bases. That scrub team, you no good tour star loving pieces of you want to talk about how bad, how rough, how arrogant you boys are? Well, I'll tell you what, you are more arrogant than those sons of who are a bunch of no good a-holes that live in mansions in the Hollywood Beverly Hills. You are nothing more than worthless pieces of up in this place. Because I bet y'all are probably going out to LA and probably getting I don't know if you guys are going down there for vacation or something with Coach Harbaugh or Terrell Moore and you're visiting Randy Love or something, or you got a discount with them because of Harbaugh. I don't know. But until you boys, and here's a little piece of advice, I don't want to hear any of you little boys and you little puppies come barking on here, talking like you tough. You ain't nothing tough. You just a bunch of weasels, and you're a bunch of no good little puppies running around begging for your mama's milk. So until you guys actually bring it, I don't want to hear it. And especially for those that wear the crimson and white uniform that come from the state of Alabama. No good pieces of you want to say, roll, Tide, roll. Well, I say roll, Buckeyes, roll. Because we're about to steamroll the schedule like you've never seen. And I'm going to tell you, that's a damn fact. And you know what? Here's the other thing. To everybody in the Big Ten, and I am included, Southern Cal, you no good maroon and yellow pieces of and UCLA. Don't you be there running your mouth against my brothers from another mother. because you disrespected this house. Well, guess what? There's going to be a whole worse of a whooping for you boys especially. And you know what? Here's the other thing. I'll call out these content creators. John Kennedy, Will and D, Jackson Johnson, Jeffrey, Coach Burke. You boys better be prepared for the end. Because I'm telling you, this season is not going well, end well for any of y'all pumps. And John Kennedy, especially you, I've been hearing what you've been saying over the last few weeks. Oh, yeah, you can say Notre Dame is this and this and this. No, Notre Dame ain't nothing but a bunch of puppies that wear the stupid, stupid pieces of uniforms. And they're disgracing. And I can bet you Lou Holtz is somewhere in South Bend hiding away. Well, I got a little message for John Kennedy. How about you come face to face with me on my live stream next Sunday at 3 p.m.? How about you actually grow a set, John Kennedy? I am calling your out. You want to talk about being the biggest and most blue-blooded program? Oh, really? Because there's only one that runs college football right now that won a championship, and that's Ohio State. I don't need to remind anybody else on this damn program about that fact. Because let me just say this, although I'm sweating right now, Eric, and I apologize, but you know what? I'm not going to. You know what? Here's the other thing. I am sick and tired of all these idiots and all these dumb coming up in here talking. Well, guess what? The time for talking is over. The time of you sucking on you know what is over. Because you're about to face the guillotine. And that guillotine is in the horseshoe. And the horseshoe is where you don't come in here talking your trash. The horseshoe is where you get executed on the spot. The horseshoe is your end. And Michigan, Washington, Southern Cal, and everybody else in the Big Ten. And Danny Lanning's boys, I'm going to tell you what. The end is in the house. And I don't need to remind some fans. You call it the big house. Well, you know what? The horseshoe is the big house of the Big Ten because that's where the big dogs of this conference roam. This is where Hall of Famers have graced this land because they paved the way for the young kids to come up in here playing the game that they played before these young kids.
All right, Caden.
Say this to them.
Caden, that's 10 minutes, man. You got what? Last thing, right now. Give me your exclamation point. You're on 10 minutes.
Eric, I just want to say thank you to you and the OHL podcast for bringing me in and then just having me a platform. But I want you to deliver John Kennedy my message.
All right.
Tell him I want him next Sunday, 3 p.m. on my stream.
He ain't coming, Caden.
And I want him to tell me what he's got going on.
He's
I
not
can hear him
coming.
run his mouth, and I'm tired of it.
He ain't coming, Caden. He's not going to join you, bro. I'm telling you straight up. You could offer that guy $1 million. He's not going to join your program, man. Thanks for calling in, Caden, man. Have a good day. Have a great week, my friend. OH.
I scum suck.
Oh. Dude, Mimi said, I think we found our Phyllis. If you don't know who Phyllis was from the Paul Feinbaum show, you'll know the clip. Roll dang tide! That's Phyllis. She would call in, and she would go off on Paul Feinbaum about Alabama football like Caden does on this program with Ohio State football. Oh, man. Yeah, he's full of energy, ain't he? All right, let's keep her moving. Woo! I had to take a breath after that. From him to Tyler. Wow. Here we go. What's up, T?
Eric, I gotta be honest. Listen to Caden. I like Caden, but it's literally like nails on a chalkboard, and the nail gets
come
stuck
on, Tyler. He's not that bad, man. He's growing on you. Admit it. He's growing on you, Tyler.
He is growing on me a little bit, but the fact is, though, it's Caden. Take a deep breath, bro. Take a deep breath.
Well,
Like,
He gets
I don't know if
more in.
Did
He
you drink
gets-
a bunch of coffee today? I don't know what it was, but whew, you got so much pent up energy right now,
Tyler,
bro.
he gets more in 10 minutes than some people could get in a 30-minute phone call. I'll tell you that.
Holy goodness. I was out of breath, Eric, and I was just listening.
My favorite part of that,
Oh,
Tyler, was he was talking about being a big dog. He says, "You don't even get up on the porch and get pet by mama." I don't even know if y'all caught that. That was hilarious. You all don't even get on the porch and get petted
that
by
made
mama.
my day, Eric. That made my day.
Yeah. What's on your mind tonight, Tyler?
Okay, so let's first talk about these red zone issues. I'm doing some thinking, Eric. So these red zone issues, I don't think would be a problem if you just give the ball to Bo Jackson, who's been running like he's been running for defenses like hot knife for butter.
Well, that's not going to hurt, right? But yeah, we're going to address the red zone issues in a future video. I don't know. I don't want to call them issues because I don't necessarily believe that they are.
I don't believe they're issues either.
One of the things that Chris and I laid out for everybody, Tyler, and you could see, go back and watch the preview video if you want a better explanation of this. Teams historically, last season and the first two games this season, were able to move the football on the Bobcats between the 20s. But once they got towards the red zone or in the red zone, that red zone defense that Ohio University has is one of the best statistically in the country. And they showed it again against Ohio State. Statistically, they are awesome in the red zone. And we highlighted that, and guess what? They're pretty good. So, yeah, I think it was a good opportunity for this coaching staff, along with Julian saying, to see something different that they haven't seen yet against a team like Ohio that is statistically one of the best in the nation in the red zone defensively.
Yeah, and another thing, Eric, that really gives me more confidence leaving this game is, okay, this is a game where you're people were saying, I said that this team felt like it was sleepwalking through this game. And, well, kind of felt like it, but if you are sleepwalking through this game, you still win by 4 touchdowns. That's, I'm not complaining about that, but that's, you can't sleepwalk when you go to Washington.
No, you can't. You're right. Washington's a good football team. 22 straight home wins, dude, including wins over Michigan, Oregon. Yeah, this is not a bad football team we're running into this week. They suck on the road, but they're fantastic at home, and we're playing them at home.
Now, albeit, the talent disparity is drastic compared to us in Washington, but they're still a Big Ten team. You still got to give them respect for that. But I feel like if this is the game where you have to get your nice, okay, you got a little bit of a wake-up call, I'll take it because it's getting you prepared for Big Ten play.
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like this game was a great wake-up call.
Yeah. What do you think about this? I mean, it is my impression, it is Chris's impression as well, that Ohio is about the equivalent of Rutgers. They went to Piscataway, New Jersey. They lost to Rutgers by 3. This game's played at Ohio University. The Bobcats probably beat them. So they're somewhere in the ballpark of a Minnesota, a Rutgers, a Maryland, a Michigan State, a bad Iowa team this year. They're somewhere in that ballpark. That's the equivalent of what we just beat, and we played a slightly less than decent game and still won by 28 points.
Yep. That's if that doesn't tell you, and you still got away with the W too. Other teams like South Carolina lost to Vanderbilt.
Yep.
Florida, who it lost to LSU. It's Texas A&M beating Notre Dame.
Yep.
Clemson lost to Georgia Tech.
Yep. By the way, Georgia Tech's kicker, holy smokes, he's good.
Georgia, you almost lost to Tennessee.
They should have lost to Tennessee.
So, the fact that we won by 4 touchdowns against a good Ohio team, I'm not going to discount it. You beat who's on your schedule, Eric.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Tyler. I'm not gonna argue with you about that at all. All right, so we've talked a little bit about the red zone. We talked a little bit about the Ohio game. What do you think so far, 3 games in, Tyler, about Hartline and Matt Patricia as the new coordinator so far for the season?
Defense, I've said going into this season, Eric, on the show, this is going to be the best defense in college football. So far, it is.
Mm-hmm.
And with Hartline, here's my problem with Hartline. I don't know if his play calling is just being too conservative, if his play calling is just like they don't trust Bo Jackson enough and they don't give him the ball enough. But now that you see Bo Jackson emerging as a star, you have that running game that you've been looking for. And I was wanting James Peoples to be a dominant runner. Right now, he hasn't done that. I'm just being honest. He hasn't done it. But now that you have Bo Jackson starting to gain 12 yards a carry, you average a first down a carry. I'm going to take that all day long.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though, Tyler. They're not going to run him 20 times a game.
Yeah.
This past weekend, you saw it. They split the carries between him, CJ, and James evenly between all 3. And I'm okay with that. But when push comes to shove, if the game's on the line, I bet you Bo Jackson's in there.
Yes. And also going back to Heartline too, real quick. The Texas game, we were very conservative, obviously, but then we go in the Grambling game and we light them up, no problem, because, well, they're Grambling.
Exactly.
Like, no disrespect. But then this is more of, in this game, was kind of, you revert to somewhere in between the Texas game and the Grambling game. This was a bit of a averaging out. Now you're going to see what the offense is going to look like for going forward. Is that fair?
It is fair. Yeah, it is fair. let's circle back to Brian Hartline for a second. He's been calling plays for 3 games. And anybody who wants to argue with me that he's not the one calling plays, you are incorrect. I have had 2 people who sit in the booth at Ohio State confirm to me, yes, he's calling the plays. Okay? Now, Ryan Day is on the headset, and Ryan Day has veto power to any play call that he doesn't like that Brian Hartline makes. And he's obviously offering suggestions to Brian Hartline. He's like, hey, let's pass here. Let's do this formation. Let's look to run here, okay? He's doing those things in Brian Hartline's ear quickly. But they have so many offensive meetings during the week where they're talking about down and distance and scenario and it literally the games are scripted for these coordinators in such a way, especially offensively, to where Ryan and Brian are on. That's Ryan and Brian. So they're on the same page. Okay. If at some point in a game, if Brian obviously is falling behind and it looks like he is overwhelmed, then obviously Ryan can take it back over. But it has been confirmed Brian is doing the play calling. Now, that being said, he's only 3 games into this and he's 3-0. Okay?
Yeah.
Ryan's goal for Brian Hartline is win the game. Just win the game by 1 point. That's all I care about, right? So far, mission accomplished.
Exactly.
He beat Texas when a lot of us didn't think he would. He did. Was it ugly? Yeah, it was ugly. But it was a first-time starting quarterback. You didn't play Bo Jackson, right? Oh, and by the way, Arch Manning looked awful, okay? So, no. What if Arch Manning was our quarterback and he looked that bad? You know what I'm saying? So, settle down, everybody.
And I'll add on to this too. So, like you said, people like that. Brian and Ryan, they have script plays.
Yes.
That's the plays they practiced for that week. Going in, like the first 20 plays, 15 plays, you practice that during the week.
Sometimes they do. Ohio State doesn't script the first 10 plays. Ryan has confirmed that they don't do that because there's a lot of different things that go into it. But in their, like, as coaches, in their offensive meetings, they will go through different scenarios within the games so that they're comfortable with where they're at and what they're doing. So the whole, hey, here's the first script of the first 10 plays, like you hear a lot of in the NFL, that doesn't happen. Ryan has confirmed that they do not do that.
Okay. Well, but still, let's just say this, though. It's the fact that your preparation is, because obviously the preparation is still there. It's all the execution on Saturday that's, you can, if you don't execute it, I don't care how much you practice you're not going to score points, Eric.
Say that again?
Oh, I said basically, if you can prepare your players all week long,
right,
and have plays prepared all week long, but if you don't execute it,
correct,
on Saturday, it doesn't matter.
Right? No, you're 100% right, Tyler. Hey man, well, we went overtime with your phone call, dude. We're up to 11 minutes, buddy. I appreciate you calling in, man. OH.
IO.
That's our boy Tyler. Let me address these real fast. David, you're up next, I believe. 931. Let me address this real fast. Nate, thanks for being in the chat, and thanks for the comment, man. As good as a passer as Julian Saint is, I feel like our offense has a higher ceiling with Lincoln Keenhol's dual threat ability, and then he backs it up with The following comment here: you could argue the red zone is the most important part of the offense. And in the preseason, all reports were that Lincoln was clearly better in the red zone. I'm going to say two things. I disagree slightly with the first part. You could argue that the red zone is the most important part of the offense. If you can't get the ball to the red zone, it doesn't matter. But I understand your argument. And you are correct. Lincoln in the preseason was a little bit more efficient than Julian in the red zone because of his legs. He can run the RPO really well. And it is something that I have, on good advice, been told. They've looked at it, they've talked about it, and after this past weekend, I guarantee they're now going to work on it. And that is making sure Lincoln has packages, has offensive sets running this offense in the red zone. It's going to happen. I'm confident in that. And it will be another layer to this offense that is going to cause defenses to have to work on it. Thank you for the comment. Well thought out. I appreciate that. And yes, I think that is definitely something that this team is looking at during the bye. Andre Green, Podfather, do you think the Buckeyes played like they did versus Ohio University because they didn't want to give Washington any video of how to get ready for Ohio State? No, I was told that they worked on a few different things, but the biggest issue was that Julian got a little bit sideways Saturday. I can give you a perfect example of that. He missed a wide open Jeremiah Smith for a touchdown early in that football game. Running off the field, Ryan Day's in his ear hole, just lighting him up about it because he checked down way too quick. He had plenty of time. He wasn't under pressure. He checked down too fast. If he would have just waited another second, Jeremiah was streaking and had like a 5-yard gap on his guy. It would have been a touchdown. Later on in the game, same play happens. Jeremiah's double covered, and Ennis is running across on a drag route. Nobody on him. He forces it to Jeremiah. He forces it, and it was because he was in his head about the previous time he did that. So he got in his head a little bit, but that's okay. He's young. He'll learn. He shook it off. Still threw for over 300 and some yards. Still had a good game. Yes, he made a couple mistakes. He's a redshirt freshman. That's going to happen. But I think that is a really good explanation that was explained to me that I think is true. Go back and watch it. You'll see it. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. He misses Jeremiah. He checks down. He comes off the field. Ryan's in his ear. Later in the game, same play. He forces it to Jeremiah. Ennis would have been wide open. So it's just learning, dude. It's learning from a young guy. Nate, virtually no running ability. This offense is almost identical to the 2018 team with Dwayne Haskins. Great passing quarterback with virtually no running ability and an O-line that struggles to open up holes in the run game. I disagree again with that. Watch how this offensive line looks with Bo Jackson running with them. I'll just leave that there. There's holes. Can you see them? Can you explode through them? Can you get to the second level? And when you get to the second level, can you make that guy miss? Can you run away from people? I mean, being a running back is not just about, hey, make a hole big enough that I can drive a Mack truck through and get 20 yards without getting touched. James Peoples, I'm disappointed in how he's looked for the first three games. I'm not going to lie. He was supposed to be more explosive than this, and I'm just not seeing it. And he's being showed up by a true freshman in Bo Jackson. And like I said, I made that video last week. I need to see Bo Jackson run with the ones, run with the first team offensive line before I can make that determination. We saw it now. The determination made. Offensive line's fine. Bo Jackson's the difference maker. Just a different level, guys. Just on a different level. All right, let's go to the next caller. And by the way, 567-483-1999. We have 2 lines open right now. What's up, David?
What's going on, brother? Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome, my man. How's it going down in the Sunshine State, brother?
Man, you know what? It was 67, 66 degrees this morning when I left work. It was absolutely gorgeous. We've had low humidity this month, and that is because we're still in summer here. So
yeah,
having low humidity, it can be 93 or 91 or whatever. As long as the humidity is low, it's not that bad. It's tolerable, and weather's awesome. And we'll be going. Telling you, buddy, you got to get down to Bradenton, man. We're going down to Bradenton this weekend because we've got a bye week, so we're definitely going. We're going down there, and you're gonna have it. We'll be watching some games up on the roof deck at the hotel. We're gonna have a good weekend.
Sounds awesome, man. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, you're right about Bo, and I think most of us have been. I was on that wagon as well. I wanted to see him, and he proved right. There's holes there. He wants a bigger hole. You're not always going to get that. And Bo Jackson, he sees a little bit of daylight. He runs behind. The difference is they're both seeing the same hole. But when he gets the ball in his hand and he sees that little crack of daylight, he's putting his pads down and running behind his pads.
Yeah.
Peoples does not run behind his pads like that. And he's trying to navigate and kind of try to wiggle through little holes. You got to blast through there. You got to make your own hole. And there is the difference. Now, that being said, something I have noticed that Peoples is good at, he is a very good pass blocker. I've seen him throw some blocks, and that he is a good pass blocker, and he's also caught a couple of passes on some wheel routes in that game where you throw the ball out in front of him, he's got that wide open space. He's not as explosive, but is good enough to go and run and get us a first down. That's all we need. Just keep moving the chains. I don't think Bo Jackson's the next Archie Griffin. I remember Archie Griffin pretty well, even though I was a little guy. Archie Griffin that dude was just different.
He's the only 2-time winning Heisman Trophy winner in the history of college football. I mean, no,
exactly.
He's the only player currently at Ohio State who has a statue on campus. Making a comparison of Bo Jackson to Archie Griffin is wild. But I will make this comparison. They both fumbled in their first times of playing, so they have that comparison too.
That's true. They do have that in common. So, but yeah, like you said, I've watched Ohio now 3 times, and they've got a good defense.
Yeah, they do, buddy.
And when you give a good defense, a short box, it's going to be hard to score on them in the red zone because their zones are condensed. They've got less territory to have to move, and they got a lot less movement. They got a lot more time to read and quicker reactions. And we've had these red zone struggles all along. We're not executing in the red zone. It's not the play calling, it's the execution. Something else I've noticed is that Brandon Ennis hasn't had that many targets. He hasn't been targeted that many times. And I think it's part of, we still have, understand this, guys, we still have not opened up the playbook. that playbook, it got cracked open a little bit more, get cracked open a little bit. That's the way football goes. You just incrementally, and once we go out to play Washington, that playbook is going to get opened up more.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see that ball get distributed a whole lot more. And I think that Julian Saint's biggest problem I see right now, I've seen it now in the Texas game, and now I think there was 3 opportunities in the Ohio game where I don't think he sees that left side of the field very well. I don't think he sees that because he's missed 3 touchdown passes. Ennis was open down there. C.J. Donald was open down on that side on Saturday, and so was J.J. I don't think he sees that left side of the field that well. But they also have that side of the line stacked. They also been putting a couple of tight ends over there on that side. I was wondering if maybe he's having a little bit of trouble seeing that. Maybe he needs to move around the pocket a little bit more, so he can see those guys. But there's nothing to hit the panic. Quit playing video games. All right, we're not going to win every game 100-0. That's not realistic. It's just bring yourself back.
No, we're not playing Grambling every game. I mean, you know,
you're not playing Grambling every game. It's look at Oregon and Northwestern. Northwestern had to go play. They got into Big Ten play. What was it? 34-14. I mean that's more realistic. You're going to come back down to earth. You got to start playing. Some real competition.
Hey,
somebody's going to be able to fight you for quarters.
Yeah, David. Bradley in the chat talking about Julian Saint and his. You mentioned he's not seeing the left side of the field very well. Bradley brings up that months ago people were talking about maybe his height could play a role in seeing over the line, and he said in his mind it's his height. That's an interest. I hadn't thought about that. That's an interesting thing to bring up, Bradley. Thank you for adding that to the conversation this evening. Julian is not a very tall guy. And that, sometimes the shorter quarterbacks, like you said, move in the pocket, David. Sometimes you have to kind of move around and make throwing lanes for yourself. One of the things that could help, obviously, is by being back in the shotgun. So, that could help out a little bit as well. But anyway, he didn't see the field as good Saturday as he did against Grambling. But let's be honest, Ohio has a much better Ohio was a top 10 statistical defense in college football a year ago. Okay? So they're well coached. They are well coached. Grambling, not so much.
That's a good football team. Like I said, Saturday was my 3rd time watching the Bobcats this year. That's a good football team, man. They're going to win the MAC again.
Oh, they're going to be there. They're going to compete. Yeah, they're going to compete for it.
They'll be in that championship game. I can just about guarantee you that, unless for some reason the wheels fall off one, which I don't think it will. Like you said, that's a very well coached football team, and it shows. They're very fundamentally sound. They got good team speed for a MAC school, man. They got some pretty good team speed, man. I mean,
I read through the list Saturday, David, of all the Ohio high school kids who went there, who were high 2-stars and 3-star kids from the state of Ohio. Like they strategically, through recruiting, said, "Hey, we're going to take the Jim Tressel approach. We're going to build a wall around Ohio, and if a kid's not getting recruited by Ohio State and he ends up not going to a Purdue or an Indiana or a Michigan State or a Kentucky or a Cincinnati or God forbid a Michigan, we're going to bring them here to Athens, Ohio." They had 4 kids from the Pickerington School District. Yeah, same school district where Lorenzo Styles Jr., Sonny Styles, and Tyleek Williams, all those guys came from, right? Jack Sawyer. Same programs playing on their team. So you think about that. All those good kids from Picktown we've got, yeah, the next best teammates for them all are playing for Ohio University. So they are intelligent about this thing, man. That is a good program, folks. Very good.
Yeah, I love watching some because I remember when I was younger, man, they were awful. They were right there with Kent State, man. They were the bottom of the barrel. And that trend changed around when Solich came there, and he built it into powerhouse in the MAC. And I'm not going to be surprised if they don't sneak their way into the top 25 by the time the end of the year, because I think they're going to dog walk some teams in the MAC. Central Michigan, Western Michigan, they got to play the Bobcats, man. They're going to get dog walked. But yeah, everybody don't panic. And you know what? Interesting. We're talking about Washington. I remember I heard after we played Grambling, Irvine Day mentioned Washington. They have not overlooked Washington.
No.
If you're mentioning Washington before you even play Ohio, and you got a bye week, you know that they are not overlooking them at all. They're not overlooking them at all, and they know what they got ahead of them. And as I said, you know, for a while now, they're going back and reevaluating things. Man, going out to Washington after a bye week, because I don't care who you are, everybody looks bad after a bye week. You wouldn't think it would be that way, but it breaks your rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
It breaks your game rhythm having that bye week. And I really don't like having this bye weeks that early. Rather have them about mid-October, maybe, you know, the second, third week of October. And that's right about where you need one, right in that middle of October somewhere. But when we go out there, take the crowd out of it, and it won't be a problem, because Washington's defense. I watched them play when they played Colorado State. And let me tell you what, Colorado State, they were in a fist fight for like 4 quarters, for like 3.5 quarters with Colorado State. That looked like a pretty good football team too. They didn't look too bad either, Colorado State. You know, but man, their defense. I would say dumpster fire, but that really doesn't describe their defense. That's a dumpster fire that hit a gasoline plant a long time ago. I mean, they're not gap sound. I mean,
yeah,
it's.
I'll say this.
It's awful.
I'll say this, David. This is what my eyeballs in my film study and my conversations with several people before last week. I haven't had these conversations since Saturday, but before last week, I was told Ohio is basically Washington light. They're basically the same team. Nate in the chat, Washington is a similar game plan as Ohio. The dual threat quarterback is their best player. 100% agree with you, Nate. We're on the same wavelength there, buddy. Ohio is basically Washington light, but here's the difference. Ohio might have a better defense. Washington has a much better offense. Much better offense. The Huskies offensively are going to do some things that Ohio tried to do but couldn't because they didn't have the horses. Washington has more of those horses on offense. Defensively, I'm not so sure Ohio's not better than the Huskies. Just being straight up honest with you.
Yeah, I think that, I've watched Washington. I watched Washington a couple of times this year, and their offense is very impressive. The dual threat quarterback, he's legit, man.
Yeah, he's good.
And they've got a running back that's been there for 3 years now. He's a 3-year starter. Coleman, that's a doggone good-looking running back, man.
If I'm not mistaken, didn't he follow Fish from Arizona? I'm pretty sure he was also Arizona's running back 2 years ago.
I think he might have. I don't know.
Yeah, they were saying
he's a good-looking running back.
They were saying preseason all Big Ten first string all Big Ten running back is what people were placing on him. So, yeah, good call. All right, David, been 10 minutes, buddy. What's your last thoughts, my friend?
Enjoy the games this weekend. And I told you about Arch Manning, guys. I told you he was fraudulent. I told you he was fraudulent, and I'm proven right. The tape don't lie, bro. The tape don't lie. OH.
IO, go Bucks.
Scum sucks.
I love it. I love it. I hope Ohio does well the rest of the year. It's concerning how bad Arch and Texas have looked. Doesn't make that win look nearly as good. Yeah, that's true, but it was also the first game of the year. And I don't care what anybody says, that Texas defense is legit. That Texas defense is legit. Arch, not so much. But, yeah, a little bit fraudulent of a quarterback there. All right, let's keep her moving. This is Ray. Hi, Ray.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How's your Monday evening looking, my friend?
Not too bad. Go Cornhuskers. Beat up them bullies up north this week.
That's right. We're all Nebraska fans this weekend, aren't we, Ray?
Yeah, we're going to find out if Nebraska's legit. They should beat the bullies up. I just hope they don't start turning it over like Oklahoma tried to give them the game.
Yeah. Yeah, if Nebraska takes care of the football and they're able to move the football with Dylan Raiola, they've got a very good chance of winning this football game. Michigan offensively, Ray, looked really good last week, but it was against
66-3.
Yeah, but it was against a Central Michigan team that can't walk and chew gum right now. That's one of the worst teams in college football.
I know. What's the record of Central Michigan going in there?
I think it's 1-2 or 0-3. Let me look it up for you real fast. But
yeah, look and see who they beat or didn't beat.
Yep, I'll look it up for you.
Yeah.
Central Michigan, so far this season, they beat San Jose State 16-14, and then they lost to Pittsburgh 45-17, and then lost to Michigan 63-3.
Yeah.
So not very good.
That's embarrassing to get beat by 60 points.
Yeah, you're right. That is embarrassing.
We're only in the third game, so it's hard to tell. I mean, I know you guys are all thinking about another national title, but remember one thing. You still got to – we don't play Oregon this year, do we?
Nope.
That's a good thing because they're looking pretty sharp. But
Oregon plays Penn State in 2 weeks, though. That's going to be a good one.
I know. I just hope to God that kid quarterback learns you can't miss wide open guys when you get in a dogfight.
Yeah, you're right. You're right with that, man. But according to Caden, we're the big dog, and the other dogs can't get up on the front porch and get petted by mom. So,
well, I'm gonna tell you about that guy. I don't mind you letting him scream and yell like that, but I wish he'd learn to clean his mouth up. And you don't use Jesus' name in vain like he does.
Well, he tries to censor himself by saying all the time instead of a swear word, which I told him he needed to do. But yeah, I'll tell him not to put the Lord's name in vain next time, brother.
Yeah, I know we all make mistakes. I'm not trying to pick on him. I'm just saying it kind of cringes when I hear that. That we ought to use Jesus' name a little bit more subtle than that.
I hear you, brother. Well, what did you think about Ohio State's game against Ohio?
Well, I missed the whole game because I don't. What's the channel it was on?
It was on Peacock.
Yeah, I don't have Peacock. My daughter was trying to go through there to get me the Peacock, but she ran out, and I got eviction coming up against her, so we talk, but we don't talk. Okay, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, anyways, I heard the score and everything, and I was putting it on you guys a little bit to hear the 37-9. It was like what was it, 16-9 at one time?
Yes. It was close. Yeah.
Was it 3 field goals they got or what?
No, they scored 1 field goal, a touchdown on a broken play that was disgusting, and then they missed the extra point.
Oh, okay. So our defense was pretty sharp, all right.
Yeah, other than that one broken play that was a 67-yard touchdown where Lorenzo Styles Jr. Let the guy get behind him, and then he just made a terrible effort to tackle the receiver. Other than that one play that was 67 yards, they basically held Ohio to 100 yards of offense the entire game.
I know Minnesota got beat this week, but
yeah, that was a bad loss for the Gophers.
Do you think Northwestern and Purdue might be a little better than we think they are? I mean, they've always been terrible, but they kind of hung with Oregon a little while.
Yeah, I think Northwestern. I think Northwestern is exactly who we think they are. They're a one-trick pony. They want to run the football. They want to beat you in a phone booth. Once you get up on them by 2 scores, it's lights out. They're not going to make a comeback. Purdue is definitely better than they were a year ago. They've got a much better offense. Their quarterback looks better. They're more efficient offensively, but defensively they are weak. They cannot hang with the big dogs, to quote Caden. So, but they are better. They are better this year.
Well, that guy better learn, though, the big dogs. You start turning the ball over 2 or 3 times, and big dogs could end up being little dogs.
That's true. A 3-legged big dog ain't a big dog, is it? Or a big dog that
I've watched
canines taken out.
I'm 76, and I watched a lot of football going back to the Jets. Baltimore Colts got in the red zone 4 or 5 times and got upset by Joe Namath. So if he goes back in his history, you'll find out a lot of times those people that you think are the big dogs end up being crippled from turnovers and not finishing the plays off in the red zone.
Yeah, you're right. Red zone's important, man. Red zone offense is important. 3rd down conversions are important. We didn't do a very good job of that Saturday.
Well, we're only in the 3rd game. I don't want to pick on them. They're clobbering people right now. I just want them to be ready when the season's over. There ain't going to be no mistake when they go up to Ann Arbor. They clean their clock this time.
I'm with you, brother. 100% with you on that one, man.
I don't think anyone want to put up with another 5th year of that crap.
Listen, I don't know that I could handle it. Ray, what did you think of Michigan's interim coach, that big fella? He looked like he was an older version of me.
Well, I'm getting there myself, but I'll tell you, I want to find out. We'll find out just how much Michigan's improved with that clobbering win, and Nebraska's looked really impressive up to now, but they haven't played anybody, so it's one thing to beat up on a little tiny team. Let's see when they both play this week. You say that's a 3:30 kickoff on CBS?
CBS, yep. 3:30 kickoff on CBS, and then right after that, the nightcap Saturday night. Oh, it's going to be a good one, Ray. Undefeated, top 10 ranked Illinois, and undefeated top 15 ranked Indiana square off.
Where's that at, Indiana?
It's in Bloomington, Indiana, at Memorial Stadium.
Wow.
It's going to be a good game.
That's going to be a night game, 7:30. Huh?
Yep, that's your nightcap. That's your main event on NBC Saturday night.
And you guys are doing something for the Nebraska against the Bullies, aren't you?
Yeah, we're doing a live watch Saturday for the Nebraska-Michigan game since we're on a bye, and we're gonna have Corey and TG and Chris are gonna get together, and TG's the Spitfire, guys. She hates the scum.
Right.
So her and Corey and Chris are gonna turn the chat loose and let all the Michigan fans come in and let TG tear them apart during the game. So hopefully Nebraska wins, because if Nebraska wins, there's going to be a whole lot of making fun of them on that live watch.
Oh, so it's going to be, you're going to have it through the whole game.
Yeah, they're going to watch it. They're going to do a live watch the whole game. Yep.
Wow, I got to watch that.
It's a lot of fun. Hey, listen, this past Saturday, Ray, during the Ohio State game, we ended up with 31,000 people tuned into our live watch.
Wow.
Yeah.
You mean the 10 a.m. to 12 p.m.?
No. We did a live watch during the football game at 7 o'clock.
Oh, that's right. Okay. There's 31,000 people.
31,000 people clicked on our video during our live watch. Yeah.
How's your ratings going on Monday and Saturday?
About the same. They always go up a little bit during the season. We get a lot more people watching after the fact, not during the call-in shows, but
right.
We usually get between anywhere from 40 to 60,000 people a month watch our content in any given time. And this month so far, YouTube says we're going to average over 70,000. So we've gone up a little bit now that we're in the season.
Hey, you ever thought about, after these big games coming up, including the Bullies, that you have a talk show for 2 or 3 hours after the game?
We tried it. It didn't work out too well last year. It's because everybody and their brother does a show right after the game.
Okay.
So we've thought about it, and our thing is during the game. We do a live watch during the game. We have the call-in show Saturday morning. Chris does the college football call-in show, and we're growing that. So, yeah, it's what we do, man. So, all right, Ray, I appreciate you.
Well, you guys are doing great. Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
OH.
I-O, buddy. That was the living legend, Ray. For those of you in the chat who don't know, Ray used to be what they called a blue coat at the Big House. He was an usher at the Michigan Stadium. He got kicked out of Michigan for handing out gospel tracts to fans. They kicked him out. He lives in Indiana, northern Indiana. After Michigan kicked him out, he became an Ohio State fan, and he found us. So Ray is our legend. That's a little story about him for all of you. He's our big buddy. We're glad to have him here, man. Let's see. Nate says, I was wondering if there were any live watches on YouTube for OSU games. You found it, Nate. We're right here, man. We watch every Ohio State game. We have myself, Chris, Corey, Alex, TG, Sean, Mika, and Vader. We're the OHIO podcast. We do all different kinds of shows. We have a Sunday night roundtable. We have pre-recorded content. We have the Buckeye Lounge on Tuesday nights. We have the Buckeye Ladies on Thursday night. We do previews. We have big previews on Wednesday nights for every game. We do the call-in show Monday nights, and we do a call-in show Saturday morning, and we have the live game watch. So we literally have almost something live for you every single day of the week. Plus, we also do short videos for everybody, little 8, 10, 15-minute videos throughout the course of the week talking about Ohio State, news and notes, everything else. And we got some big news coming up for all of you within the next couple weeks as well. So I'm glad you're here, Nate. I'm glad you're following the show. Please subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, get notified so you don't miss anything. And that's true for all of you, all right? Okay, let's keep her moving tonight. We got the Schrock Star coming up. What's up, Sean? Yo, Sean. Hey, Sean. Can you hear me, Sean? Sean, we can't hear you. Going once. Going twice. Sean, call back in, man. Can't hear you, buddy. Hopefully he didn't fall asleep while he was waiting. If you can hear me, Sean, call back in. I'll give you a minute, man. I'll give you a minute. Call back in. I want to talk to you. 567-483-1999. Phone lines are open. If anybody else would like to call in, we usually go to about 10 o'clock Eastern on a Monday night. If anybody else would like to call in this evening, Sean is number 2 all time in the call-in list. Would anybody like to take a guess who has called into the OHIO podcast more than anyone else with an astounding 124 phone calls? Someone in the chat, give me a guess on who that would be while we wait for Sean to call back in. Or anybody else who would like to call in this evening. 567-483-1999. Let's see. We have a guess for Ray. Ray is not correct. Tyler says, this guy. Robert says, Phil's? Coconut says it's got to be Ray or Tyler. Aaron says it's Tyler. Mimi says, I second Tyler. You all are correct. Tyler leads the way. Tyler has only missed, believe it or not, since we've been doing this for 2 years, Tyler has only missed 2 call-in shows we've ever had. And one time is because he broke his phone. Tyler's here all the time. Jeffrey said, Caden? No, what? Remember, Chris kicked Caden off the program for a while. Do y'all remember that? Remember when Chris kicked Caden off? He hung up on him and kicked him out. Kicked him off. He told him not to call back in. And Caden got a new number and called me the very next show. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Ray is a legend. You are right about that. 100%, man. 100%. Mimi says, that's impressive, Tyler. It is, man. He loves his Buckeyes and he hates his Wolverines. I mean, he hates scum with a passion. Tonight might have been the first time I've talked to Tyler in a long time where he didn't bring up anything about the team up north. Oh my gosh, Aaron, that's right. Caden and I went around and around, man. And then remember that one night he had his good friend call in and apologize for him? I think that was actually Caden who called back in and had a different voice. Because remember, after he got kicked off the show, he called in as a British woman who was in love with Burks. Yes, some wild stuff has happened on this call-in show, folks. Some wild stuff. Remember the one guy from San Antonio, Texas, who told me there was gremlins behind me? That one guy, he was on drugs. Oh my gosh. Yes, Aaron remembers. He remembers the British accent show. Oh my gosh. All right, let's see here. Nate says, what are your thoughts on both teams wearing their home uniforms for the OSU Michigan game? Scarlet versus Navy. I would love it. Yeah. USC and UCLA does it, and it looks beautiful on television. I don't understand why we couldn't do it either. Yeah, that would be neat. I wouldn't mind that at all. It's the two of the most iconic clashes of colors in all of college football, right? I mean, when you think about colors on schools when they rival schools, Auburn and Alabama doesn't do it for you, right? Army Navy doesn't do it for you. UCLA and UCLA is probably a good one. Washington, Oregon's probably a good clash of colors. But nothing's good. Nothing would be better than seeing an all scarlet and gray versus an all maize and blue on the uniforms like that without whites. I think that would be beautiful. Yeah, I'd dig that. Oh my gosh, you brought up the milkshake show, Aaron. The milkshake show. Dude. Dude, should I talk about that or not? Should I leave that alone for people who have no idea what the milkshake show was? Nate says, I wish OSU would give out helmet stickers a little more generously. On Saturday, we were 3 games in, and OSU players had hardly any helmet stickers. Yeah. And it'll come by the end of the season. You won't even remember. It's a piece of art, man. It's like a canvas. It gets worked on as the season goes on. Oh my gosh, here we go. Let everybody know, said Aaron. Bring them up to speed, Eric. Okay. So, Caden, this was right before I basically had a heart-to-heart with Caden and said, all right, we need to do something here, buddy. And he told me his whole story. Because for the longest time, Caden told everybody that he was a 4-star linebacker and he played with all these former Buckeyes and he had the state record in sacks and all of this stuff. And I looked it up and I knew it wasn't true. And I called him out on it. Well, before that happened, Caden he called in and said he was in Miami, Florida on vacation with his girlfriend. And he's calling from the hotel room. And she had made multiple milkshakes for him that day, and they were the best milkshakes ever. And he's explaining to us on the call in the hotel room that she had just stepped out of the bathroom with another milkshake and was, shall we say, scantily clothed, or the lack thereof. The chat goes off. They're like, BS, we don't believe you. You're not even in Florida. You don't have a girlfriend. And then it took on a life of its own to where they were saying Kaden had a blow up doll girlfriend, and it got bad. It got bad. But yeah, Caden's milkshake call was probably, that's one I will never forget. Mimi says I'm waiting for the OHIO podcast book to come out. Are you talking about the one that we talked about last night, Mimi? Because I'll let everybody know in case they missed that last night, if that's what you're talking about. We'll give Sean one more minute here. Aaron says, Eric, remember the last thing he told you on that call? Well, if I recall, Aaron, didn't I say to him, you need to send me proof? I was like, you have my email. You need to send me a picture. I don't believe you. Right? Remember that? And then the very next picture I got from him was of a lawn tractor. And I was so confused. Oh my gosh. I can't believe all this is coming back to my mind tonight. What a wild time. Oh yes, that's right. He did. He ended the show with "I've got business to take care of." Woo! Oh my gosh, I forgot all about that. That's right. That's right, Aaron. Oh my goodness. Oh. Mimi says, I hope this book is going to be how the show started and then talk about the calls over the years. Yeah, wouldn't that be something? No, Mike Wargo, who was on the show last night, he's known as the Rudy of Ohio State. Him and I have agreed to let me write his biography. And so we're going to write the story of how Mike Wargo made the team at Ohio State and got in on one play, just like Rudy. And because of the Rudy story, he became the Rudy of Ohio State football. And we're going to write that story. It's pretty epic. It's an amazing story. It's a story about perseverance, determination, getting up when you get knocked down, never giving up, having a dream, Keep dreaming when everybody says your dream is stupid. It's a story made for the movies, man. And I love it. It's one of my favorite Ohio State stories ever. And he's given me the permission to work with him to write that book. We're working on a title, and then once the season's over, we're going to start to work on the book. But the title I would like, I don't know if I can use it because we're acknowledging somebody else who obviously is a real person who has a real story. But we're thinking about calling it Wargo, Ohio State's Rudy story. So it's going to be a bigger book. It's going to be, in my mind, we're working it out. It's going to be multiple chapters with not only his story of his life and how he got to Ohio State and what it did for him, but it's going to be a story that I want to write to inspire people, particularly younger people, to dream dreams, to work towards those dreams, and never give up with those dreams. And I think it could be something that both adults and young adults could enjoy. That's my goal with this book, and we'll see what happens. You can self-publish now these days, so even if a publisher doesn't want to bring the idea to fruition, we're going to make it happen because he deserves it. And quite frankly, Buckeye Nation deserves to learn who this man is, learn his story, and read about it. And, we've got a lot of people who we have become friends with here at the OHIO podcast who've done this before, like former player Mecca Don, who wrote his own book. And media members who I know, who I can go to and ask questions. So, yeah, it's going to happen. So hopefully it'll be out. I've never wrote a book before. I know you can't just do it overnight. So it's going to take some time, but hopefully it'll be something that we can get into the hands of people, hopefully sometime either at the end of 2025 or into 2026 sometime. So that's the plan. All right, guys, no one else has called in tonight. We're going to go ahead and end the show right now. So we'll go ahead and call it a night on the call-ins here. I appreciate all of you checking in tonight. This was a lot of fun, man. I had a lot of fun tonight. All you new people who showed up, thank you so much. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Tomorrow night, the Buckeye Lounge, 8 o'clock Eastern, right here on the OHIO podcast. They've got a special guest. Let's see. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I know who it is. Don't leave me. Sean texted this to me earlier today and told me who it was. Matt Finkus. Former Buckeye Matt Finkus will be on the program tomorrow night live at 8:30, everybody. So make sure you check that out. Have a good night. Be kind to one another. I owe someone's OH St. Carmen, Ohio with all your heart. Till next time, you all know what to do. Go Bucks.